Well, a very good afternoon and welcome along to the Andrew Eborn Show with me, Andrew Eborn, live again in Regent's Park. A fantastic time. Just been on with Vanessa Feltz. We did the glorious show on LBC. It's a real delight working with Vanessa. She's such a professional and such fascinating conversation. I was talking about several interviews that we have with Elon Musk's father, Errol, who joins my show virtually every day. And what I love about that is that it gives us an opportunity to unpack all of the stories, and there are several stories every single day about Elon, what's going on in the world, is he going to buy Liverpool Football Club, and so on and so forth. And that was a classic example. Do listen to that interview because we get to the bottom of that. We get to the truth behind those stories. And that's what's really, really key. I always say that you should question everything. And the more you get to know about the media and the stories and those involved, well, the more you can realise that we do. And we should question everything. I think tell a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. And they always say that a lie has got itself halfway around the world before the truth has got its boots on. That tends to be the reality. You probably know that yourself if you've ever had a story about you or a story that you've got direct information about, then you will know whether or not it's true. Lovely to see. We've got some people joining us. Hello. It's like Cruz Ozari. How's it going, Andrew? Your Errol interviews are fantastic. That's so kind. Thank you so much. It's lovely having feedback. Appreciation is always appreciated. And what I always say is that it's all about you. Without the people listening and watching, it'd be meaningless. I'll just be talking to myself. So if you've got any questions, if there are people you'd like me to chat to, if you have questions, Errol, you've got questions for me, do let me know. And encourage people to subscribe. That's the best way. Subscribe to the Andrew Eborn Show. It is free. Everybody's favourite F-letter word. Click now and encourage people to do that. We're going to get more and more people involved in the conversations. There are competitions coming up. There we go. The sounds and sights of Regent's Park here on a fantastic Saturday. It was freezing this morning. I don't know if you joined me on the walk, but anybody who came on the walk earlier, you would have seen that I think it was about -5. Really, really cold. The Regent's Park was frozen over, the lake here in the centre of the park, but we managed to survive just about. Anyway, I thought I'd take you round for twilight. Interesting way to end the day. And as I say, it's been a fascinating week. I was on Times Radio a couple of times. I do the Rosie Wright show, have the joy of knowing Rosie for a long time. We met on GB News when it first started, the very first year. And it's brilliant when Rosie went over to Times Radio. Such a talent, so incredible. And I was just saying that when Rosie went over to Times Radio, the very first week, she kindly got me on for her. So I do the breakfast show with her every now and again, go through the papers, tune in with her. And so fantastic stuff. I was also on earlier, a couple of days ago, with Henry Bonsu, another brilliant broadcast, a different time of the day. He goes out at 10 o'clock at night. And I was talking to him about the influence that Elon Musk has around the world, and how extraordinary that is. And people always say, and it's a point that should be made, and people should be aware of it, is that people always say, well, oh, it's undue influence, how dare he? But it's interesting, people like George Soros, who has obviously considerable influence as well, and I understand has given quite sizable amounts of money, people don't seem to have the same pop at him. You have to ask why. I always think it's important to question everything. When anybody says anything about anybody, I always say the key is to turn around and say, look, why are they asking it? Why are they asking it now? Who's going to benefit? And so on and so forth. So I am an unapologetic absolutist about freedom of speech. I think it is so important for our democracy that people have an opportunity, have a platform to say what they think, to provide evidence. It's also important that we don't just take it and swallow it and so on and so forth, but to understand, to question everything. But we need to have an informed debate, an intelligent informed debate where we're not just shouting at each other, but present the evidence. And the point I always make, people talk about interference, the point I always make is that the electorate are not stupid. You know, you turn around and give people an opportunity to think about things, give them the evidence, they can then make that informed decision. Let me know your views. I'd also be grateful, let me know if there's any particular people you would like to come on the Andrew Eborn show. We have lots of different guests on, apart from Errol. I've had all sorts of Blood the Joy, Charles Spencer, Diana Spencer's brother, brilliant author. I've had him on the show talking about some of his books, including The White Ship. He's a fantastic writer. And what I love about doing those shows is that we have the opportunity of unpacking things in a really detailed way. So it's not just about little sound bites and so on and so forth, but we have as long as it takes to make sure the story is told properly in their words, make sure they're not misrepresented in any way. And that's what I love about doing the show on that sort of basis. So do tell all your friends. And if you haven't got any friends yet, I'm sure you'll get some as a result of it. But tell them to log in, subscribe to the Andrew Eborn show. As I say, we try and do some of these live things every now and again. I'll walk you around Regent's Park. It's a great way of ending the day. It's a great way of beginning the day on that sort of basis. We are so lucky, I think, where you can do and just wander out into wherever you are, let me know. But we often talk about mental health and the struggles that people are having at the moment. And times are tough, and I think we should recognise that whilst we have, the lake's frozen here. If you've got a question about eating or heating, it's a major, major problem. It's absolutely freezing out. And you still see people who are out there. There is somebody on the ice that's undoubtedly going to go in. Yes, they are skating on the ice. They managed not to go under. That was almost a tricky moment. That was close. You work on that sort of basis, good heavens. Anyway, they have a look at that sort of stuff. Let me know where it is where you are. My heart also goes out to a lot of people in America at the moment. The horrendous fires, and I know quite a few people over there. Some people who've lost their properties, so my heart goes out to them at this time as well. So all around the world, wherever people are, let me know where it is where you are at the moment. But I say in central London, it is absolutely freezing. They say it was the coldest January night in several years, I think like 15 years or something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me. It was really icy. But that's what we're going to try and do is on the Andrew Eborn show, we'll always take you for a walk. A nice little walk in the morning, walk you around park. If you want to get up nice and early, you can join me on that walk. We'll do a similar sort of thing in the evening. And then throughout the day, we're going to have lots of interviews with great people. And that's your opportunity. If you do have questions, you'll have want to take part in the debate, anything you want me to cover, that'll be fantastic. The Muckrakers, as you know, last year, I had the pleasure of working with Mike and Jenny at TNT, as it then was. I did over 100 shows for them, including the Muckrakers with Andrew Eborn, which was investigative journalism, covering the topics that a lot of people don't normally talk about in what they call the mainstream media. Although, as I dance on more platforms than Paddington, we do those as well. But the reality is exactly that. We need to have an environment where we can talk about these things in a sensible, grown-up way. And that's the whole point about this sort of side, is that your views are so important. We mustn't stifle debate. We need people to talk. We need people to debate. And I always say that sunlight is the best disinfectant. Don't try and hide things. We've had enough of that in the world. I think I don't dismiss the populace as being ignorant. They're only ignorant if you don't give them information, but they're intelligent enough to realise that not everything they hear is true. And I think that's the reality about these sort of things. Anyway, look, whatever you're doing tonight, I hope you have a fantastic time to persuade lots of your chums to subscribe to the Andrew Eborn show. If you haven't done that yet, click that subscribe button now. If you want to become a member, there's all sorts of wonderful benefits to that. You'll get invites to come on shows. You'll get all sorts of extra benefits and rewards. There are prizes galore as well. So if you fancy being a member, less than the price of a cup of coffee, if you fancy buying me a cup of coffee, it'd be really appreciated. Have a look at that sort of side. You can click on that as well. I'm going to leave you now. This is Regent's Park. This is where we've been, the glorious park where I spend every morning. And most of the day, whenever you want a break or something. It's just a brilliant way to do things. We've got the biggest, beautiful mosque right here in central London as well. Stunning where we are. We've got the American ambassador's residence. We've got London Zoo. We've got the theatre. It's one of the best parks probably in the world, and I'm really privileged to do that. Anyway, I hope you had a fantastic night. Take it easy and keep up the incredible interviews. Thank you so much, Cruz. It's lovely to hear from you. Lovely to hear from everybody. Whatever you're doing tonight, have a good one.